Hello, I'm live again. How's it going, everyone? Got a couple of things to tinker around with today, so hopefully you're interested. And we'll see how we go. Still a bit early yet. It's only like not even 8 o'clock in the morning yet. I'm still trying to wake up. Hence the coffee. And true to form, I'm early. I'm always early. I always do things early. So yeah, I'm starting. I said 8 o'clock, but it's almost 8 o'clock, isn't it? Well, 8 o'clock New Zealand time. So the chat's open. How's it going? How's it going, Chris? So on the bench, I've got a Fluke 540B thermal transfer standard. It's quite an old piece of gear. I think it's sort of late 70s, early 80s, something like that. Its last test is 1992. Sorry, 1991. So it's been around for a little while. And I picked this up earlier this year, and I did feature it very briefly in the mailbag video, stuff like that. And I sort of put it to one side because I thought I'll need to sort that out later on, and I picked it up to do calibrations on my AC calibrator and DC calibrator, stuff like that. Okay, so the idea with the transfer standard is you connect up a DC standard or an AC standard, either way, and then you can calibrate another standard against it. It just does a averaging, but like RMS, but it's done thermally, and it's recognised as being one of the better ways to do it. Hi Ian, how's it going? Oh, calibration stuff, you'll probably be into this. Yeah, I'll flick over to the bench. Alright, so that's what I'm playing with there. So it's a transfer standard. So it's for AC-DC calibration, as I was saying. So you can inject two signals at once, one DC, one AC, and it basically compares the two. And that way you can calibrate one standard against another. And hi Joshua, how's it going? And yeah, so that's the theory behind it anyway. But it's an old piece of gear. It does actually work. I've had a play around with it, but it needs some upgrades, let's say. Now these things here, they actually have the battery packs inside them. Right, it's actually battery powered. It's got an AC jack on the back there, AC input, and that's used purely for charging the batteries. You're not actually supposed to use it when it's plugged in. So the standard, it runs with batteries, and it's got some NiCad battery packs in there, which are still okay. You know, they're right. It's got some battery test functions. I'll show you those in a second as well, and it just shows you the battery levels, so you know when to charge them up. But one of the batteries it actually has, well, one battery. I think it's got two battery packs, which are individual, which give different voltages, and it's got a third battery, which is supposed to give 1.35 volts. Now that in itself is a bit of a clue to what it actually is. Anyone knows the battery technology, 1.35 volts is a Mercury battery, and it's actually a D cell. It takes a D cell battery, Mercury type, and when I got it there was one in there, and it is leaking and corroding, and it's just not nice. So that's obviously gone and been disposed of. And you may or may not know this, but Mercury batteries are pretty much impossible to get now. I'm yet to find one for it. And a common update for these, even Fluke do it, believe, is actually a Fluke module for it, is to convert it to a different kind of battery, using a voltage regulator circuit. Anyway, I'm not going to buy one, I'm going to make one. So on the bench, so you can see there's a little circuit there, a couple of wires hanging off it. That is a voltage regulator circuit which I made. Very simple, very small. I can just tuck it away in there, mount it wherever I need to mount it, and that sort of stuff. And then next to it is a lithium battery, 18650, which has got a little USB charger board on it. Now those are the parts I'm going to be using to convert this thing. And I thought, oh, I might as well do a video live stream on this. You know, people will find it interesting. I'm going to be recording it as well for doing a proper video. So, but I'll go through a little bit about the unit and some of the diagrams, stuff like that, and cover that. Hopefully you find it interesting. But it's a little bit tricky because I've got to rewire the main switches on the front there to allow for the different voltage, because of the lithium cell, that battery pack there is putting out about 4.2 volts right now, and obviously it's got to be 1.35, and I've got to run through a switch which does two functions. It powers the unit when it's turned on, and also has a battery test function which I want to retain. I want to be able to keep that test function there so I can check the battery level. And so we're going to play around with that, and all I'm going to do is put it apart quickly. It won't take long. Put it apart, and we'll do that conversion, and I'll record a video, and we'll go from there. I've got a couple of things I can think about. If it doesn't take too long to do this, then I might actually do another little project as well. I've got a iPhone 5S sitting here which has a problem with touch. So it's like an old piece of gear to a new piece of gear, drastically new piece of gear. So the I may get onto that too. Maybe, I don't know. It's got an issue with touch. I don't know if it's the screen. I don't know if it's the touch IC itself. So I've got to actually look at that more. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Also, was it Russian? Is it? So yeah, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Sorry, man. Hello. There. So that's the plan. So I'll tinker around and see how we go. I'm still really tired. I didn't get enough sleep. These early starts, mate. Mind you, I've got to go bully tomorrow. It's even worse. So obviously I've got the chat open there, so we can have a little chat and you can ask questions and make comments and stuff like that, and we'll discuss things as well as we go along. I like to try and have the community thing going there, and everyone can have a discussion. Quite like that. Part of the advantage of having a live stream, you actually get to have a chat and ask questions a bit more freely, I suppose. Okay, let's get this thing opened up and you'll see what I mean. I'm not going to completely strip it down. I've been charging it up. The battery packs I noticed yesterday were a little bit low, so I've charged them up, and so they should be basically fully charged up. Twitter thing going. Hold on. I did message on Twitter saying I'm just about to go live. Anyway, if you're not following me on Twitter and you have Twitter, then check me out on that as well, because I tend to check notifications there occasionally on doing videos. Stuff like that. Okay, let's change. So, obviously, yeah. So this is the main switch. Now, the first functions it does here, the first three switch positions, are the battery test functions. All right. So that on there checks the reference battery, which is that Mercury battery I'm talking about. That's a galvanometer function battery, and there's a search battery. All right. So those are just battery checks to make sure the needle comes up and it's all looking good. And that's the on position where you actually then do the testing. Okay. So these knobs are a bit broken, stuff like that. It's a bit disappointing, but that's the, it happens. So the idea is you inject an AC, a DC signal, so DC over here, AC over here, and it does that comparison. You just change, you check one, get the scaling, and then you tell it that's what you want to use. Then you change it over to AC and do the same thing again. I've only used that a little bit. I'm not by no way an expert on this thing. I'm really shaky on it, so I can't go into a lot of detail about exactly how it works. I know it's got a thermal thing in there and it heats up, and that's why it can do the averaging. Check the chat out. Hi, Englishman in Brazil. Again. So I'll open this up. Now, the easiest way to do it, I mean, in the back there, that's the actual battery pack in the back there. So it's got these 6 screws. That whole panel comes off. But I might have all the wires breaking off, because they're only really thin, solid core wires, and moving around too much means they're going to start breaking. So I'll try and avoid doing that. There's actually a plug-in module on this side. I think there's 2 options. I think there's 2 different modules that this can come with. So this unscrews and you unpull it out like that, and that's the actual module. Now I've actually had all this apart already once because I've recorded footage cleaning up all the controls, because all the switches were all dirty. And it's a bit scratchy, and it's sort of intermittent function. So I've gone through, cleaned up all the switches, and it's working fine since then. But obviously I need to sort this Mercury battery problem out. I need to get this other camera set up so I can start recording that as well. Hey Q's, how's it going? Kim? Right. Camera on. So you're getting a bit of a, I don't know, behind the scenes as well at the same time with the live stream, but I'm recording the video as well. It's a bit tricky for me to try and concentrate on the live stream, recording the video and working on the gear. I'm a man, I don't do more than one thing at once very well, so so you have to sort of forgive me a little bit if I seem a bit disjointed. Now let's get into this thing. So I just want to record video first on here so I don't miss anything. Alright, so this is the Fluke calibrator thingy, film transfer standard. I'm going to need to get this out and sort out the D cell Mercury battery issue. And this is the circuit I want to put in. It's a little lithium and a little voltage regulator here which I built, which is a little LM317 running at 1.35 volts. I've already adjusted the resistor values and stuff like that, so it should be 1.35 volts exactly. At least it was when I checked it yesterday. So we'll open this thing up and we'll look at how I'm going to actually do this conversion. It's always good not to try and lose the bits. Just try not to lose the bits. So I featured this earlier in a mailbag, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 months ago, maybe a bit longer. And I've only just got back to it basically. I've been doing other projects. It wasn't a high priority, so I moved on. So this panel here will now fold out and I've taken those 4 screws out. Oh, almost, this one. Those 2 screws too. And there's the insides. There we go. And there's the battery packs. All in the back there, behind that metal plate is battery packs. Transformer, charging circuitry here. And this is the distribution for the power from the battery packs. There's the D cell holder right there, where the Mercury battery normally sits. And when I got it, there's a battery in there, which had been leaking. And it's corroded off the bottom terminal, just here. I'm going to leave all that intact. I'll need to obviously protect it so it doesn't short out or anything, but I'm not going to be using that section. I'm going to be obviously somehow fitting this in. I'm not quite sure exactly how yet. I may have to, don't know if I can strap it onto the back of there, there's enough clearance. I'm not quite sure yet. I'll have to figure that out. But that's where the wiring comes out for the power, and it all comes over through this cable here to the front panel here. And the switch I need to work on is this one right here. So I need to do some changes on the back of this. I've already figured out what I need to do. Bit of preparation, and I want to make sure I'm actually not doing it wrong. So this is my rudimentary drawing of the back there. And these 2 switch terminals here are the battery check function. And that terminal there is the on function, so I need to actually change the outputs onto those. So I'll show you on the live stream camera as well. Right, so that's what I figured out. As bad as that is, here we go. Focus. Try and get the stay focus, would be great. Alright, so this is the back of the switch. That's the common of each side. That's the negative side, that's the positive side of the battery. So it feeds in. When it's turned into the test position, it comes out here, and that's linked to that side as well, which then goes to a resistor to ground to actually put some loading on the battery. And that's the one which goes up to the panel meter. But what I need to do is adjust this system so that it allows for that 4.2 volts instead of 1.35 volts, and that's the on switch there, the output from the switch, and that's where I need to insert the voltage regulator in that side there. Okay, at least that's the plan. Quick look at the chat. Yeah, the Mercury is used as a reference cell because it sits at 1.35 volts and it stays there basically most of its time. So as it's discharging, it's a very stable voltage, it doesn't tend to drop much, which is why they use Mercury. So it's a very consistent voltage level. Also got my Danger Mouse cup. Right, so that's the reasoning behind that. But it's a bit of a pain, you know. If I could find another battery which would fit in a holder and I could, you know, or proximity of it, then I wouldn't have to do this conversion. But thinking, well, if I just go to a lithium, it's a much simpler solution because I'll just plug a USB charger and it'll charge. I mean, lithium has also got a pretty good self-discharge time as well. It helps that too. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. So I don't mind if I have to charge up every once in a while, you know. It's not something I'm going to use very often anyway. What worries me mostly is the NiCads in the back there because they have quite a bad self-discharge rate. Now I'd fully charged this previously. This has been sitting on the shelf there for about 1.5 months, I think, and they're already very flat. Only about probably 20% or something before I recharged them again. So the shelf life on those batteries isn't very good. So it's actually very tempting as well to do some kind of conversion of lithium to lithium as well. Maybe put some power packs in there, you know, something like that. But anyway, that's another project. I just want to get the thing working. Right now it's a workable state if I just do this modification. So yeah, so it's got a little micro USB on there. I was actually thinking I could maybe put a hole in the back casing and mount it that way somehow, so I can just plug a cable into the back, but I don't know if that's going to be physically possible or not. There just isn't really the room for it. I think it just won't fit because you've got the other battery pack behind there which is kind of in the way, so I don't think it's actually going to be feasible, which is a bit of a shame. Also the other problem I've got is that this circuit board's got no mountings on it. There's no mounting holes, there's no standoffs. So that in itself is a bit of a pain too. Now if I take the battery out, the actual holder's got some holes in it, but there's a track running, I can see a track running right down the middle of the board behind those holes. So if I drill through those holes I'll be drilling through that track, which is just lunacy. But anyway, they could have designed that a bit better. So in a way I was actually tempted to take this holder off and actually drill holes through this board and make it mountable. I may still have to do that yet, but we'll get the electrical side of things sorted out first. I've got a few of these. If I ruin it, I suppose I can always get another one, but I'd rather not ruin it. So basically on the switch here, so there's that wire link I had in the my rough drawing there. So that terminal there is one of the test positions. So it's a dual 4-way switch, right? So there's one side, there's the other side, individual poles. And so when you turn the test position, the battery connection, let's just get something to point with. So, right, there's the battery wire right there, that white and grey. That's from the battery holder directly to here. There it goes onto that common terminal right there. I don't know if we can see this on live stream. And then in the first test position it comes to this terminal here, which goes from there straight to the board here, which has got a little voltage reducing resistor and a trimmer to allow for adjustment to the scale. And then the other side of the link goes over to here, which goes to one end of the resistor, which goes down to another switch wafer, which is then switched to the negative side of the battery. Alright, so it's actually switched on and off to the battery side. the yellow wire, those yellow wires there are the battery negative. Okay, so the resistor is always on there, but it's also got switching to that to switch that in and out of circuit as well. But the resistor is always connected. So all I've actually got to do in order to make this work, I need to keep the load resistor on there in order to keep the load on the battery. So it's actually more so it takes a service charge off the battery a little bit. So you need to keep that there. So I need to take from this switch wafer, I need to basically disconnect both these two wires from it and put a resistor in series, which will then lower the voltage going for the test circuitry. And then on the output, which is that one there, I think it is 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, that one there, that's the on position. That is the one I've got to put the voltage regulator circuitry in series with. Okay, so that's the white and red, that's the actual power on, which is the circuitry for that battery. Alright, so it's actually a fairly simple modification. It just requires a few slight changes and obviously building a regulator circuit and stuff to suit. And I think the hardest bit is actually mounting that battery in there and getting that physically suitable. Now, I'm also going to isolate the original wiring as well, so it's not going to short out anywhere because that'd be bad. Check the live stream out. Other can. Yeah. Well, it's pretty close from what I can get. It's about as close as I can get with that one. I can do like a zoom in view, but I think it narrows the view down too much. Let's just do it wide. Hold on. That's wide, narrow. So that's a zoomed in view there, which is not wonderful, I suppose. No, I haven't done the iPhone, I've still got it sitting here. The new screens arrived, that arrived yesterday. So once I've done this, if there's time I might actually have a crack at that iPhone 5S, so you might want to watch that. I mean, you've got a bit of experience with phones, more experience than I have with phones. So where is the screen? It's here. Just pause my camera. Remind me to get the thing recording again if I forget. Right, so there's the new screen. Alright, so also got to put a touch ID on, well, button on it, and the home button on it, and all the camera assemblies all will go on. I have to transfer that over. Came with a little protector as well, which is nice of them. Throw that in. So how good the screen is, no idea. You know, it's always hit and miss when you buy crap from China, isn't it? But it may be good, may be rubbish. So I'm hoping the screen is the problem on this phone. So if I've got time, I'll get to that one today as well. How we go on the live stream. See how bad I can cook it up live. Yeah, so anyway, we'll get onto this. Still drinking a coffee. Quite important. Get the camera going again. Right, so I mean, really my instinct is to try and find someone to put the battery first. There's that zoom in view, it's not working very well, is it? Let's change that. Slightly better, isn't it? So I need to try and get that figured out. I mean, I want to mount it on that panel in the back there, so when I take that panel out, I can get to this battery and charge it. So yes, I just need to figure out that. I mean, that is the positive there. So there's actually a positive terminal of the battery, and that's a negative terminal battery sticking out right there. So if I touch it across something, that's going to short out, which equals not good. Alright. The shielding on the PCB, that is all the negative side. I've already checked that. That is the casing on that micro USB is tied to the negative of the battery and stuff like that. So if I touch on the text on the board here, that is negative of the battery. So all the shield is definitely tied to the battery negative. So and part of what I need to do is keep this thing completely isolated from the chassis. Now, the first thought I had when that battery issue came to light was that I could just chuck a voltage regulator in. Like I could just put this in, wire that into the circuitry, run it with one of the other battery packs, and done. Right? Don't have to worry about having another battery in there. Well, I was looking into the circuit diagrams for that, and it's a completely isolated battery circuit. And I think, well, they must have done it that way for a reason. That battery just goes to one thing, and that is it. There's no other ground references which are shared, nothing like that. It's completely isolated. I think, well, there's probably a reason for that, so I'm going to keep it isolated as well. I'll tell you guys again. Yeah, so, but yeah, I can do this end, do all that side there together. That's easy enough. And I actually opened a circuit diagram shortly and show you the diagram so you can actually see electrically what I'm doing. Make a bit more sense that way. What I'm trying to see is metal wires. And you know, all I really need to do is hook this up into this section here. Put a resistor in series with those two wires. Pull those off that switch. Put those resistors in series. Hook this up to the negative side, which is those yellow wire down there. Positive side, which is the input voltage to the switch, and this little wire jumper here, which is coming off to that existing wire. Okay, so that is basically it. Obviously, apart from changing the supply, all right, which I'll then do at the other end when I take that back panel out instead. Okay, just to try and work on it that way. It'd probably be easier that way. All right. I thought crossed in my mind just now. What was that? Let's look at diagrams. Let's go and look at diagrams. Stop the camera. Let's see. Here we go. So let's pull these diagrams up and show you those. I'll just have to find them first. Okay, manual. I was able to get the original service manual for this. I've got a, yeah, I think I've only got an electronic copy. I don't think I've got a physical copy. I think I did, anyway. Let's get this in the top screen so you can see it. A while ago, I actually contacted Arctic Manuals, Arctic Media, whatever they're called. I can't remember which one it is now. I think it was Media, then changed to Manuals, or might be the other way around. And said, hey, look, I keep featuring your manuals in my videos. I do my repairs. You know, are you interested in doing like a sponsorship thing? You know, to give me a manual for free, and I'll provide links and stuff to them. And the guy sent back a weird email. It was interesting. It's like, oh, one hand is intrigued, and the other hand is dismayed. Like, dismayed? I'm promoting his business. How's he dismayed? Anyway, don't mind. So, we were on. I was found it weird. I haven't heard from him since. He said he's going to get back to me, but he never did. So, that's into that. Okay. So, there's one part of the switch here. Alright, so this is the actual battery tech meter, and that's the routing for the meter circuitry. So, in the first position here, that's checking the reference battery, which is the Mercury battery. Right, then it's got a galvanometer and surge batteries, which say it's just linking them to the meter in that section there. Okay, so that's all fair enough. So you look at that plus V3, yes, the one we're interested in, and you can see here that's that switching of the negative side to it as well. That 1 is the grounding for that battery. Well, that's not really grounding; it's like 0-volt reference rather than grounding. Now the actual battery comes over to here, 1.35 volts, and it's got this reference adjustment here, which is all the actual controls on the front panel. So it's actually running through that stuff. And here is the actual rest of the switch. Now, you can see it's got the 3 batteries in this pack here. So there's the dual battery there, which is giving a 0-volt reference plus and minus supply. This one here is giving us a positive supply, and there's the reference battery there. That's the one I'm actually messing with. This B105 is the Mercury battery. So you can see from these other battery packs here, this one here is doing plus or minus 6.75 volts, and the other battery over here is doing plus 13 volts. Alright, and obviously the Mercury battery is doing 1.35. So this is the switch section I've got to modify just here, in this 101D. Okay. Now, as I was saying before, I've got to interrupt this one with the wire linkers, which is that connection just there, the reference battery check. I've got to basically disconnect that there and stick a series resistor there instead. Right, also to lower the battery voltage so it's not overdriving the meter. So you can still do the battery check function. If I wasn't worried about, I could just disconnect that wire and it'd be done. Right, I wouldn't have to worry about it. But I want to keep that function working, so I can check the level of the lithium. Although it may not be as great, it'll you know, it might be a precise voltage, but it'll give you a ballpark whether the battery's dead or not. Right. And also the on functions where I need to downstep that voltage from that 4.2 volts, which is the current battery voltage, down to 1.35. So it's in that line there is where I've got to put the voltage regulator. So that's basically it. It's actually a fairly simple change. Alright, so you can see it's all completely isolated from each other. You know, they've got different grounds, different references. It's all isolated. I've checked between the ground points and there is no conductivity between any of them. Alright, so as you can see, they've got these terminals 5 and terminal 7 on the battery, which is just it's all marked on the battery pack there, so it's easy to see where to check, and it's all really simple actually. It's quite easy to work on. Just a shame it's all stuffed inside this metal box with everything on each panel. I mean, literally every panel's got something on it. It's, you know, crammed in there, which is a bit awkward. And here's the power supply section to see in case you want to see that. Right, and as you can see, it shows the isolation in here too. Right, so it's got individual voltage windings on a transformer and individual rectifiers and stuff like that. Okay, so you can see there's no capacitors in here. It's using the batteries as capacitors. Yeah, I don't know, how good is that? So that's why I say you shouldn't have the thing plugged in and using it whilst plugged in the mains, because I think it'll probably introduce a bit of noise or variation or something. Alright, and there's the battery there. There's that one BT3. Okay, so that's the terminal layout, and that's easy to see on that board. When I take that out, I'll show you a bit more easily. Okay, so pretty straightforward. We'll get onto it. So now I've finished with coffee. Let's go to desk and top screen. I'll get this up here a bit more so you can see what I'm talking about. Oh, that way around. Alright, so you can keep track of what I'm actually working on, hopefully. Where's that? Not going to fit. Oh, let's give it that. Yeah, make it slightly smaller. Okay. Oh, it barely fits there. Oh, this is just bloody window sizing, it's a bit weird. There we go, slightly better. Right, let's get started. Now I've finished fiddling around with things. Let's get the iron going. So everybody can see that. You can see that. It's not too bad, I suppose. Bring it a bit closer. Right, you can kind of see, can't you? Right. Let's get the camera recording. Alright, so let's take these wires off here, and then I'll actually show you what I was doing. I had a test set up. I should do that first actually. I have a test set up here, so I've worked out what resistor value I need, roughly. So I should actually do that first. So let's hook that up. And I'll show you that. Right, just to go through that part, I've already done some research on this and figured things out before I started recording, obviously. Try and be prepared. So I've got the negative, which goes onto terminal 7, which is that one there. And the positive, ignore the wire colour, it's wrong. Actually, I'll swap those around, shouldn't I? Make more sense. Positive goes in terminal 5, which is that one there. Okay, make sure I'm not shorting anything out. So we're good. So I'll turn my power supply on. Now this is based purely on the battery test function. Okay, so that's what I'm working on right now, is battery test. Can you all see that? Yep. So if we go to the battery test function there, reference, turn the supply on, that's set at 4.2 volts, which is the most the battery should be, and that's what I'm getting on. So that's at 1.5k. Right, if I go to 1k, it's actually close to what I want it. So a 1k is kind of what I want. Okay, but if I change the power supply voltage down by, so if I go down to say 3.7 volts, it's dropped slightly. 3.3, 3.2. I'm not quite sure what lithium cell is going to drop out at. That's 3 volts. So it's still below the marking there for the battery. So the battery's that first band just there. Alright. It's a very small section at the top there where it says overload as well. In that section is where the battery OK voltage is. So that's the 3 volts there. And that's at the 4.2, which is like the most the battery will be at when it's fully charged. If I do 1.5k instead, it switches a little bit dirty on this thing. Bit too dirty for my liking actually. We should clean it. Right, so that's 1.5k, so sitting right at the bottom end of that really, at 4.2 volts. If I drop it down, say 3.5, you know, 3 volts there, it's just slightly lower, not a huge amount. So I'm going to base it on the high level 4.2 volt battery when it's fully charged, and the 1k resistor. Right, so 1k is up there, which is like the most it should be. So that's what I'm going to base it on. So if I stick a 1k resistor in series of those wires, that should give me the correct reading for checking the battery voltage to make sure it's charged up okay. Terry's going, yeah, it's an old piece of gear. I'm not quite sure what year it was. It is marked on here somewhere. Well, this is 39, so it's your tester. Here we go, June the 4th 1985. Okay, 1985 is when this thing was made, so 33 years old. Not bad, is it? And it still works. I bet if you got a modern piece of test gear, even a high-end piece like Keysight or something like that, in 30 years time, but it still doesn't work. It's a lot to be said for it. So what do I want? I want a 1k resistor, although I'm actually tempted to go slightly higher than 1k because that's right towards the top end of the scale, and I'd rather have it really slightly lower, because being lithium and the voltage, you know, being dropped down a bit. So I might actually go slightly higher value in that, so it's reached a fraction lower. 1.5k is too much, so let's get a, I don't know, what have I got here? 1.1, 1.2k, I've seen a few of those. 1.2k. Let's chuck a 1.2k in there. That should be in between the two, which I think will probably be alright. I suppose I could try it out, shove it in series and see what it thinks of it. Yeah, somehow. Clip lead, number clip lead. Let's do that actually, let's just hook this up. Let's see if this is going to do the job before I solder the thing in there. So number 5 again. These little clip leads are really nice little leads, but when you squeeze them, the sleeving slips around the actual crocodile clip. It's a real pain trying to go hold of things. So they're just like too slippery. I hope that will go away with age. Okay, set on there. Stick the negative on. Let's try that one again. So yeah, that's in the middle of the range. That looks good. So let's just drop it down. So the threshold there for that bottom of the range is about 3.6, 3.7 volts bottom of that range, and 3 volts is about there. Does anyone actually know what the minimum discharge voltage should be for lithium 3.7 volt pack? Because I don't. I could probably research it, but maybe one of you guys know. So what's a 3.7 volt lithium cell minimum voltage? I know you're not supposed to go down too low on them. Anyone know? Yeah, Terry, the reason I got this meter is because I needed to calibrate my AC calibrator. So I got my Fluke 540B DC calibrator, which I repaired about a year ago. You will have seen a video on that hopefully. And I've now got the Valhalla 2703 and the Fluke 5200A AC calibrators, and I can use this thermal transfer standard to calibrate those. It's like the recommended piece of gear for doing it. Anyone know about the batteries? Oh, I can't look it up myself. I think I'm going to have to. Right. Minimum battery voltage. If I can type minimum, that'd be great. Let's see what Google thinks. Yeah, that's not helpful. Minimum required voltage for charging? No. It must be somewhere. I've read it somewhere. Ian, thanks. 2.8 to 3. Excellent. Okay, so my estimate of 3 volts is probably about right then. Cool, I'll base it on that. Excellent. Yeah, lithiums are fairly flat as well. They don't tend to drop much, but they do drop. Yeah, so that they are certainly more linear. I think at the very end of this, it tends to drop off a bit. Okay, cool. So my 3 volts is probably where I've read it. That's why it's in my head, most likely. I retained some memory without some knowledge without actually realising it. Okay, so let's just recheck that again. I just want to my own sanity, just make sure I'm right. So 4.2 volts is there, and drop it down to say 3 volts again, and that's 3 volts there, which is showing, yeah, in that region, but it's below the battery check. That's fine. So if it's getting down that low, then it is pretty much dead. So 3.5, 3.6. So 3.7 is right there on the bottom end of that battery scale. So we'll see. I'll give it a go at 3.2, and we'll see how that runs. I think that's pretty much right, really. I mean, it's going to be an easy resistor to access anyway, so if I do need to change it, I can just do it again later on. It'd be pretty easy to do. just restart my camera because it times out after a period of time. Right, so where are we up to? Okay. So 2.8 volts is about as low as I really want to go. Okay. So 3, yeah. Okay, so I'll target 3 volts. So I'll probably maybe put a note because that 3 volts is that 120 on their front scale there. Yeah, 120 on there. So I'll probably put some kind of noting on there saying don't go below that level or something like that. I'll recharge it, that line or something like that, so it doesn't actually go that low. So this is a piece of gear I'm not used very often. It might even be a case of I'll use it and then take the battery out. It might be that because it's only for calibrating my AC calibrators, and that's the reason I got it. And to do videos on its repair and restoration sort of thing, you know. So yeah, it's not going to get a huge amount of use, but I still want it to be usable. And that's the thing, you know. I like to have things, if I don't use it often, and I've got lots of bits of gear here which I almost never use, but when you want to use it, you want it to work. So anyway, right. Batteryuniversity.com. Okay. Let's just spin this around a bit. You don't see my crotch there. Here we go. Kind of okay there, I suppose. Right. Okay, camera's going. Let's do this. So I need to take this wire here off and that orange wire there. Something I should point out. There's an orange wire over here. I noticed it yesterday. Right there. There's an orange wire. And it's not soldered onto the switch, it's just floating around. It's hooked over, but they forgot to solder it. So this has been sitting like this for 33 years. Who knows, maybe someone thought it was faulty because it didn't work. And maybe that's why it didn't work, because the switch wire there was not actually attached, and when in shipping maybe it started making contact again. Who knows, maybe that's why I got it cheap. But yeah, so that wire there is not actually soldered on, so I need to sort that out too. That's pretty hilarious. Yeah, but old test gear, it's like, I don't know, it's kind of collectible in a way. You know, I've got so many bits of gear now, things I've purchased for doing videos. I mean, I only buy them to do the videos usually. This thing here is a little different because I actually want to add a function for it to repair the other bits of gear. But that's what I find I end up using, is I'll get a bit of gear and I end up using that to repair other bits of gear, which is, you know, quite helpful. So let's just fix this solder joint issue here, where there isn't one. Now, being it's been sitting there for 30 years, it probably needs a bit of flux. Here we go. 33 years later, it finally got soldered. Seven logic analyzers. Yeah. Okay, how many have I got? I think I've got 3. Yeah, I've got 3 logic analyzers. I've got the one which came with my Siglent SDS was it 2102 scope, because that's a MSO, so that's got 8-channel logic analyzer. Then I've got the little one I picked up recently, which I haven't played around with much yet. Stop this other video, hold on. And that's this thing here, which I did in a little mailbag recently. This thing here, this little TTL type thing, right? Yeah, very simple little thing. And then I've got the much more advanced Zero Plus module, right? Zero Plus something or other. I can't remember what model it was now. I did a review video on that. I got sent that for free, and it's worth about $3 grand, which was awesome. You put one in the post. No USB is cheating. Yeah, I did actually buy a logic analyzer, an old school. What brand was it? I can't remember now. It was a 32 channel logic analyzer with CRT screen, fairly compact thing, but you know, still quite old. And it went missing in the post, never turned up. So I had to claim it back. That's from eBay. It was sent. It just never even got to my country. It just disappeared in the US. Just vanished. So I got the money back, but that was a shame because I was actually quite looking forward to playing around with that. It might have been a HP. I can't remember. But it was could be an Anritsu. Not sure. But yeah, it's a 32 channel one. You know, all the probes, the whole lot, the little bag for the probes, everything was there. And yeah, gone. And I got it for a good price too. Right, so back to this. I'm getting kind of sidetracked. Let's play with this thing. So let's take these two wires here off. Let's get those tweezers out of the way. That's what I use for fine work. Someone criticised me once for using these as needle nose pliers. It's because these are really robust tweezers. I've had them for years, like 30 years I've had these things, and they're still really good. Okay, so there's the wires off. Now, how best to set this resistor up? I should probably. There's a little wire to there. Okay, that's where it actually goes to. I could change this wire, maybe. Just link from there to there and then change that wire. But then I want to actually probably should keep wire links in case I have to dismantle anything. I don't like having direct links like that. So how should I do this? I mean, I think there's a clearance in the back. Maybe there's not clearance in the back. There's transformers right here. So, and I forgot to record that. That's great. So I'll start my camera back up again. Damn it! Hate that. Yeah, well, Zero Plus were really good though. Because I saw their logic analyzer featured on someone's channel. Whose was it? I think Dave's done one as well. EVblog. He's done. He reviewed them too. Same model, I think. And oh god, who's the other guy? Another guy did it. He actually gave his one away, but I want this one, so I'm not going to give it away. But yeah, I contacted them and said, hey, look, I saw this featured, and I was wondering if you want some more exposure, and they said, yeah, sure, we'll send you one, and that was easy. It's great. And they even sent me the password information to get into the extended functions of it as well. So I've got the long-term recording functions on it, which is one of the software options. Alright, so let's just figure out how I'm going to do this. I don't think I can put it across the back because of this transformer here being in the way. I'm thinking I might have to change this wire. Well, I should be able to lay it on there if I did that. Could put it that way like that. Think that would be okay? Yeah, that would be okay. That'll work. So let's do it that way. I'll stick with heat shrink over it. It'll be fine. tweezers, just a bit easier sometimes. And if I run the wires up that way, the back of it, I should be able to slide heat shrink over the top like that. Maybe, or should I go that way? It's going to be a little tricky getting heat shrink on, but I can do it. Now I've got to find out heat shrink. Is that it? Is that a bit small? Just does it. I'll do that. Might do in a couple of pieces actually. Yeah, that'll do. Alright, it's going to get noisy. Chit chat. Hey Simon, how's it going? Alright, let's get these wires set up. I'm hoping I can make this reach. There you go. Hoping I can make this reach. Now if things shut up, I can try and talk over it. Can I get both wires through there? They're a bit short, you see. Not really. Too long. Short a little bit. There's probably a better way of doing this, but you know, this is the way I'm doing it. Just, you know, like that. So I just need to solder those onto there. Try and slide that one onto it. One on. So I say this is the easy bit. So I'm hoping I'll get time to go on to the iPhone repair as well. We'll see how we go. There's no promises it'll even work when I try and do the iPhone repair, but it's worth a shot. Alright, let's see if that can solder on without everything else falling apart. Not the prettiest, I think. That's on. Just trying to get the heat shrink over it now. Right. Okay. That's that part done. Check again. Yeah, so with the iPhone, as some of you all know, I've mentioned it previously, not everyone will know about it. It's got a touch fault, so now it's shut off, I can talk a bit quieter. So the touch doesn't always work, sometimes it will work, sometimes it doesn't. When you do touch it, it does detect in the right place, it just doesn't always detect you touching it. So I'm going to try replacing the screen first and see if that fixes it. If not, then it's going to be a Touch IC, which is a completely different game. So I've never done reflow on those ICs. I've got the stencils, those arrived as well. So I've got stencils for it, I've got some solder paste, whether it's any good, I don't know, never used it. And I've got a microscope on the way, it should be here soon. So if I have to do the reballing, then I should have all the gear I need at least. I've got that little digital microscope up here, which is that little Chinese thing, which works, but it's not going to be good enough for that. Resolution's nowhere near good enough. So. Right, let's get this camera recording again. Right, let's get this wire here off and insert the voltage regulator circuitry. Now I need to think about where I'm going to mount this. I don't think it's going to get hot, so I'm not too worried about heat sinking it. I probably will have to put like heat shrink or something over that to isolate it. I left this space here next to it in case I need to make mountings. I'm not sure there's anywhere I can actually mount it anyway. I'm not sure. I'll probably just cable tie it in there or something like that, because it'll just sit in there cable tied. So I don't think I need that much wire on there. Certainly not. There's a bit more space over here. Maybe I'll put it that way instead. Put it in that gap there. Cable tie it over there like that. Cable tie it there. That will fit all right in there. Out the way, away from everything. Could do. Will that wire there reach? It will, because that's where it comes from. It's even better. So yeah, I think I'll stick the actual board over there. And yeah, I mean if I need to I can always double sided tape it down to the front there like that. I think I've got some double sided tape. I used to have some, but I think I might have used it. Yeah, I think it's gone. I might have some in the garage somewhere. Yeah, I had some quite good stuff, but I think I might have used it when I was doing something else. Right, so that's okay. We'll run that around to there. So that can go to the switch. And that one there has got to go down to the 0-volt rail there, which is that yellow wire. So I can shorten this right down, I don't need that much wire in there. Get rid of that. So the microscope I purchased was one of these, it's a HDMI digital microscope with the auto zoom thing that Dave featured the other day on his channel, well a couple of weeks ago now, a few weeks ago. So that's what I ended up purchasing, was that, because I was really impressed by the auto zoom thing. I thought that was pretty cool. Well, not auto zoom, the auto focusing, sorry. So I was really impressed by that feature, which is what swung me, because I was looking at buying a trinocular. I had one on my watch list. I was seriously considering buying it, and then Dave did that video. I thought, oh, that's cool. You know, the auto focusing, very handy. So I thought, well, I'll give that a go, and hopefully it'll work out okay. Right, solder this negative on. Still plenty of wire, which is fine. I don't like to set things up too short, because if you need to move things or pull things apart, I don't like to have the wirings exactly the right length, because you never know if you need to adjust it or dismount something and move things around. You just never quite know. So I always like to leave a little bit extra wire. It's less tidy that way, but it's more future-proofed. It's actually a bit long. Let's cut this down a bit. Okay, is that side on there? And that's the output, which I need to shove to this wire right here. I might even be able to chuck it straight under the board. Let's untangle this wire. Yeah, let's take this out completely, I don't need it. Bit fiddly. Need 3 hands for this. Try and get it to sit where I want it, it'd be nice. Okay. Just down the bottom of the ball, I'm trying to go through it, just a lot easier. Okay, so that's that side wired up. So in theory, if I stuck 4.2 volts on that supply, that should work. As long as this doesn't touch anything, it shouldn't. Let's just put some heat shrink over this, just to insulate it for now. Hopefully it will fit over it. Close. Come on. Just to protect it in case it touches something. Okay. Ow. Alright, check that out. we up to? The import duty is a bit of a pain. Although I think that mine hasn't actually had any duty put on it when it arrived in the country. I think it's been incorrectly labelled or something, because it appears it's already in the postal system. Yeah, there's lots of microscopes out there you can use. So I was just using this little rubbishy, well, I wouldn't say rubbishy, it's this budget. This one here is what I was using. I did a little review video on it and stuff like that. It works okay. I mean, it's allowing to fix things which I wouldn't have otherwise been able to do. So it's paid for itself, really. And they were actually quite popular. People, because I've got links to them in my videos for the Banggood page. Was it AliExpress? I can't remember which one. I think it's Banggood actually. And yeah, Banggood, because they sent it to me for free. And people are buying them still. You know, they send the video, they like the review, and it's not a bad little thing. It works okay. It's just not the same as a $500 one. You know, but you expect that. You know, for the price, it's a really good little thing. Really good tool. Okay, so let's hook up power to this. I hope I haven't made any mistakes. If I've made any mistakes, I hope you're watching, because I wasn't. Right, negative. Positive. Without touching any other terminals. Okay, so that's got power. Start recording again. So I've hooked up my power supply to the internal connections where the battery is supposed to go, and we'll give it a try. Power's not on yet. I've got it set for 4.2 volts. Actually, I'll probably bring it up slowly. I'll drop it down a bit first, just in case of a problem. I'll start at 1.5. That should be fairly safe. So I'll turn it on. Yep, that's looking good there. Yep. So that's 3 volts there, which is seen as 120, which is about as low as I'm going to go with that battery. And there you go, 4.2 volts is up there, so it's just over halfway up the scale. So I think that's fine, at least at that part. So now I'll do the same check again for the on state and check the voltage going through here to make sure it's all good. There's a cutout threshold on the power supply anyway. So the voltage regulator's got about 1 volt threshold before it cuts out. It's officially at 1.5 volts, but I was actually getting about 0.9 is when it actually started working. So it's I can't check the output now, put a heat shrink over it. Not easily. Let's just slide that out slightly. Right. Let's get my meter set up. Where have I left it? I want to verify I'm not getting too high a voltage out of it or anything like that. So I need you to be able to see it. There you go, that works there. Live stream, yep, cool, all good. Let's shove the negative into the battery, or the power supply negative. Okay, so if I turn it onto the on state, power supply is on at 2 volts right now. Upper voltage, 0.9. Is that right? Got it in the right place? Pretty sure I got this right. There you go, so 2.4 volts is starting to come on. Or something. Why is that not looking right? Have I done something silly? I'll change this lead actually, it's a bit funny. Change that to a banana, a bit easier. Yeah, no, it's not the right colour. That's on. The voltage. What's going on there? If I've got these back to front, am I missing something here? I know what I'm doing. Look at this. Look at this. This one. Bloody hell. That's why it doesn't make sense. Right. Now it'll make more sense. Again, why is it negative? That's not right. Okay. Get the probes right around. Here we go. Right, this will make more sense now. Okay. So, I'll check on the output there. Nothing. Turn it on. That's 2.5 volts, which is close to the dropout voltage. Try and get this on there. 0.25. Bring it up. 1.35 or 1.35 is what I'm going for. Yeah, 1.347. So dropout voltage is what, 2.6 volts. Yeah, 2.7 volts is dropout voltage. So 1.4 above. So 3 volts lowest range is 1.35. So that's all tying in quite nicely, actually. So it's all working quite nice. If we go up to 4 volts, or 4.2 volts, which is the battery voltage, there you go, still 1.347. So all good, that will work. Happy with that. So the next thing I've got to do is actually fit the battery in and mount this board here. Right, back to the chat. Lewis Rossman, yeah. Apple stuff is a real pain. I've ordered a bio lens for my microscope as well. 0.5. A mailbag I did recently, which you wouldn't have seen yet. I've only recorded it. I haven't actually done anything else with it yet. I've got a lens arrived for that as well. Yeah. Okay. Let's do something with this board. I need to secure this somehow. I don't think it's going to draw much current. I should actually look at that on the power supply, shouldn't I? See how much current it's drawing when it's on the on state. Let's do that. I'll just pay attention to that in case I need to worry about heat-sinking this transformer, this transistor. Oh, too many wires here. Out of the way. Where are they all? Okay. Let's just do this again. and watch the current instead. Okay. Set back on. And the current in the on state is a couple of milliamps. It is very little. So yeah, don't worry about heat sinking, that's all fine. Actually, I should record that, shouldn't I? So I'll just check the milliamps on this thing to actually see how much current it's drawing in the on state, and it's only drawing about 2 milliamps or so according to the power supply. So I don't need to heat shrink the transistor, so that's all fine. So I'll probably just leave it in the heat shrink and mount it down here somewhere. Right, so that's one part of it done. Now the next thing is to put the battery in, isn't it? Try and wedge this in, it's got stuck. I just like to have heat shrink over things if I can, because that way if something dislodges or decides it's going to move, it's a bit less of a problem. Board in, stand it back up. This heat shrink's not just big enough. I'll stand the transistor back up again. Well, voltage regulator. I need to try and mount it down there somewhere. I could just double-sided stick it, couldn't I? Double-sided tape and stick it down there. Or some other kind of adhesive. I do have some other stuff I use. I think if I stick it down like that, it'd be really good, actually. I'll just sit it in there. It fits beautifully in there. Curious, yeah. Doing a video on iPhone repair. Hey, it could well be mine's a video which is a disaster and funny. It could well be mine. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we'll see if we get to that or not. Okay. So I want to stick that down with something. I'm sure I had some here. I've only got double-sided tape, not double-sided foam tape, and the foam tape works a lot better. I don't really trust this other double-sided stuff, it's not great. We'll give it a go. Falls off, I suppose. The foam tape certainly works a bit better. I've got some somewhere. There might be in the garage. Right, so we peeled the backing off. This one, next challenge. So it's not as good as foam, but it might do the job. We'll see, I'll be surprised if it stays there. But it shouldn't matter if it does fall off, because I mean, it's all heat shrunk in there anyway, so it's not going to cause any problems if it does fall off. That's why I do that. Right. Okay. Next thing. Hot snot glue. Yeah, I mean hot snot glue works okay, but it's not my favourite thing to use. JV World. Yeah, JV World, yeah. Certainly. Slap that back in again. So this bit is finished with. And we'll take the back end apart instead. Let's put this back together. So I do like the way they design these things. It's very like this modular style. I do like it actually. Your nice dream. So my wife just walked in. Okay. Right, stick the side panel on. We'll put it. Here it is. Then we'll open the back up and do that part of it, which should be a bit more tricky, I suppose. Okay. Actually, it's occurred to me, I didn't have that module plugged in, so because this wasn't in there, maybe it will draw more current once I actually do that. I should retest that, shouldn't I? Okay, so there's a battery pack out. Let's put this module back in again and retest the current in case I've got that wrong. If I get it back in again. Oh, this is a bit silly. Set this up again. I like to be sure of things. I don't want to take chances with things being different to what I expected. Power is on. Let's turn the switcher out. All the way on. Yeah, still on a couple of milliamps, so that's fine. That's okay. Happy with that. Because it doesn't actually do a lot of that battery. It's just the reference voltage really, so it's not surprising it's really low current. Well, I'll leave the key in the Phaco. This thing, well, it's a bit crap already. It's you have to take it out and put it back in again in order to change the settings. You can't just push the button and then change the settings. It's yeah. So I just leave the thing in there all the time. You know, it's a bit of a pain. I don't like it. The actual interface on this thing's not that great. The iron works well. Well, now I've got a decent handpiece on it, it works well. So let's look at how I'm going to mount this in here now. Alright, so obviously that's the original battery terminals there, and you can see this one here has come off completely. And I need to figure out how I'm going to attach this. Now, if will that fit that way? No. So I can't stick it in that orientation. It's going to have to go in this orientation somehow and not protrude too much. So this is a bit of a tricky thing to get in there. It may be a case of I have to sit this in the bottom of the casing or something like that instead. Because there is some space in the bottom of the casing and the chassis, and then run some wires up. But then it comes back to charging it. It could even be I'll just use it as a holder and then just charge it separately. Is that an option? Because I mean it's a removable battery. I could always just take the battery out to charge it, couldn't I? But then if I open the casing up, so yeah, I mean I want to eventually put a cable on here to charge it up as well. So I'll probably have a wire out the back here or something like that, and then allow for charging from there. So I'll just plug a cable in to charge up the battery rather than taking it apart. I don't want to take it apart if I can avoid it. But there's not a lot of room here, so it's a shame this is a bit too long. If I didn't have the circuit board on it would actually fit a lot better. So now I'm really thinking about using this particular board. All I need is a battery voltage, right? I don't actually need the charge board. I could mount the charge board somewhere else without the battery on it. That could be a plan. I want to try and keep this sort of thing intact though. I mean, this is the original battery holder. I could just bend that out of the way, couldn't I? Maybe. Oh, I might stick out too much. There's a bit of space on this side of the transformer. So I could actually fit a battery there. That's possible. Could stick it side on. That way the terminal's on the side like that. So I'm starting to think I might need to dismantle this battery holder. That's where I'm leaning right now. Because it will fit better without that USB charging adapter on it. I could just put a battery pack in and put this board somewhere else, or maybe dismantle the board and cut off all the unnecessary stuff, because obviously that charge circuit on the end is the important bit. I think that's the way to go. Yeah, that's where I'm leaning to get it to fit nicer. Check the jet again. Yeah, it's not a real Heiko, it's a fake Heiko. It's the FX951, which I did a review video on a few other videos. I did a comparison video, was it last week, between that and the TS100. Yeah, I could add a switch to the soldering iron. A narrow bench, yeah, it is a narrow bench. Well, I think it's, was it 900? I think it's 900 deep, but I've got other stuff behind it. Obviously the shelving and stuff there too. So. Okay. So yeah, I think I'll take this battery holder off. Let's start recording video again. Let's get this off here. Good, positive, negatives marked. That's always handy. And I'll mount that on the side of there. And I'll just dismantle it. Let's see how hard it is to get this thing apart. It's pretty easy so far. Very interesting. So that trace that goes all the way up here is a negative trace, but the whole thing is negative. That's weird. Oh well, that's easy enough. So I can just cut that piece off, or maybe even use that as a mounting. Now it doesn't have those bits sticking out, I can actually stick it to something nice and flat. I'll clean that solder off. I know some people swear by solder wick, and I don't know, I just don't get on with it. I can never get solder wick to work right. I don't know what the hell it is. I've tried. I just tried again a couple of days ago. It's like, no, it just doesn't work for me. I don't know, I just don't get it. I just find it too awkward. Mind you, maybe the stuff I've got is just crap, that's probably what it is. But, yeah. Yeah. Interesting the way I've done that. That's weird. Got all this grounding, but it's not using it as a path. That's strange. A tiny little track. Right. So now that should fit on there like that, and I'm going to run some wires to it. I'm not happy about the fact that it overhangs the edge slightly though. I suppose I could trim it off a little bit, couldn't I? Positive is that way. Yeah, it sticks out more than the battery, so I could I'll just trim that off very slightly so it's not overhanging, because if you otherwise, if I've got that stuck on there with a bit of tape or something, then it might catch and pull the thing off as I'm taking it out the back. So I shall trim that slightly. Probably just on one edge, just what it's going to need, just to give it a lead in. Like that. So it's not actually got a hard edge to catch on. That should work. Right. I mean, yeah. Could bend those terminals up so they don't come out the back. So many possibilities here, but I think that's the best one. Is like that. and it'll make it stick to this. Something I'm waiting for is, oh, hold on, did some arrive? Oh, I'm thinking now. UV adhesive. UV adhesive, I was waiting for that. Although, that's not going to work in a situation because it's between two surfaces, probably won't work too well. No, that won't do it. Hot glue I don't trust, not on aluminium. So check this chat again. Can't say it, check the chat again. More flux. More flux of the braid. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Wicking with hot air. Okay, yeah, I've some tried. Yeah, double-sided tape is what I'm leaning. I've got some somewhere. Where the hell is it? Ah! It's on the other side of the room. Here we go. This is some really strong stuff. So this is what I use. Is this? Let's give us a clean up. I'll get it mounted and I'll wire it in after that. So I think MIFs are better for this, isn't it? MIFs is better for doing double-sided tape because it eats into the surface a little bit. I mean, alcohol only degrease. Which one am I going to stick down? Positive at the top. That's why my head works. So positive at the top. All right. Let's do that. Cool. Yeah, I had it on the other side of the room. I've got a little stack of tape over the other side, which I've completely forgot about. So this stuff is strong. Is it 30 pounds or 13.6 kilos? 60 inches supposed to hold 13 kilos. Yeah, well, I'm just like, whatever. I don't trust his marketing claims most of the time. Probably not going to wait a bit longer for it to evaporate off properly. Yeah, so we'll stick that on. Then I need to put this board somewhere so I can actually get to this bloody charger. Let's figure this out. Let's just get my meter out again. This time I'll get the probes right around. That's always a great thing to do, isn't it? Because the last thing I was using on this, I think I did milliamp readings on this thing last time, which is why it does probes back to front. I did something stupid when I plugged them back in again. Where did I put it? There it is. What do I want? Continuity. So if I go from there to there, see it's joined, right? And that is joined to these tracks here, to the shields. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I've done it like that. That's really weird. It's completely insulated here. There's no connection there. There's no connection here, but it connects up this end. It's just weird. So, yeah, I could just like cut that board off there and just use that, I reckon, and stick that inside somehow, maybe on a little bracket or something. Or can I get the whole surface to sit on something so I can get the cable on? I could fit it inside the back of the casing. Or it could be a rebel and stick it on the outside. Oh, that's actually tempting. But that's a bit rough looking, eh? It's just, nah. I need to figure that bit out. I want to. Just a hole in a chassis with a bloody USB jack sticking out of it, don't I? Yeah. I'll figure it out. Need a sharper knife for this. Okay. Not the prettiest, but it will do the job. And you know what? I stuck it on the wrong side. Oh dear. I did. Hey, at least it's being hard to pull off. Alright. Damn it, I'll do it again. Dumb bastard. Right. That side. Okay. Right. I hope that'll do the job. Doesn't want to fall off, so it's probably alright. So how's the chat going? Cool. Yeah, well, it was actually tempting to stick the thing on the outside, eh? The whole battery bank. That was tempting. But because of the terminal sticking out the back of the holder, it wouldn't actually been flush, and there's also a chance of shorting them out when you push it against the chassis. I don't like to have exposed electronics. Although now I'm thinking about it, what I could have done is, over there I have a 3D printer. Is I could have 3D printed it. Could have 3D printed a little box to go over it. But one thing I did look at is the fact that when you've got this battery in the holder, even though I mounted it flush in the back in this lower part here, these feet don't actually stick out far enough. So it would have been, if you stuck it on its back, it would have been actually sitting on the battery. So that's that's something I did actually look at, kind of, so that wasn't really an option because of that. But I think I prefer internal battery with some kind of external charge port. That's what I prefer to do. So maybe what I might do for now is actually run a couple of wires out of the casing, and then I will maybe I'll put a small little box on the back here. I'll make a little box and put this in it on the outside. I think I'd be happy with that actually, because I could put it over this hole in the back here, which you probably can't see too well. Right. So that's probably what I'll do. I think for the time being I'll just run a couple of wires out and run to this board, and I'll make a little case, a little box here for it. I think that's what I'll do. Yeah. Yeah. So for the time I can run the battery straight to it, yeah, if I just run the battery straight to it right now, that would be working, that would be done. If I need to, I can just take the battery out and charge it up. Okay, that's possible. But obviously I want to have the charger built into it, so I can add the charger later on. I can even do that, couldn't I? Once I've got a box made for it. In fact, I might even have a box for it. I might have something I can use. Hold on. How big are these things? So I've got these boxes here already. They're a bit bulky though. That's too big. Unless I mounted it that way. Then it's recessed into the back there, it's not actually in the way. Will it fit that way? Not quite. That'll fit that way. It will. That'll fit that way around. And I've got the screw holes there, which means I could probably just drill a couple of holes in and mount it in that way. And that board will fit in there easy once I cut it down. And then I can have a USB port straight at the back, and I'll just plug straight into it then. Okay, that seems like a good plan, doesn't it? Rather than having to make a box as well. That's why I keep things laying around. You know, I bought these in a mail bag, I don't know, 8 months ago maybe. Something like that. I've had these for a while. So that's why I do that. Okay. So I'll buy the battery pack up to here. Need to do something about this wire, the original wire here. So I want to try and keep the original stuff intact. So I might stick a bit of heat shrink over that and just tuck it out of the way. Oh, well there you go. The terminal just fell off. So, yeah. Intact? No, I think it's not intact anymore. I don't like to take away original things. I'll stick some heat shrink over that anyway. This drawer of mine's getting to be quite sticky. There we go. Right. I just like to try and keep the original parts where possible. Okay, so we'll tuck this out of the way and wire onto those terminals directly. Wait for it. Yeah, I'll be here for a while. I'm not going anywhere just yet. Okay, so I need to wire this to here. Yeah. the best wire. All my wires in a box in the garage. I'm kind of mixed. Oh, I don't know, I've got the other stuff over there actually. No, I've got some other wire I can use. I can't use that. Hold on. Right. Put my camera to show off. Wake up. Okay, start recording. Okay, so some wire I'm going to use to hook up the battery pack to the original terminals. It's a bit thick, but it will do the job. So it should all be nice and simple. Now it's the negative terminal end, which I have to bring to here. So I just go straight across there. I'll tuck it in the inside edge here, like that. I'll leave a little bit of slack on it too. Come on, solder. I think I might need to clean my tip up a little bit. Right. Kind of working backwards here, it's a bit awkward. Okay, so on. Now I can either go straight to that post or I can go to that little through hole there, which has actually got the wire coming from the other side. I think I'd rather go to the post, although it's a bit dirty. Not too bad, it might work. Come on, here we go. Now is it hollow post? Yes it is. Brilliant. So that's that wire on. Tend to run that one around that way. I won't though. I think it's a bit messy that way. Now we'll put a bit of heat shrink on this in case it falls off. I've got one which will fit over it. Okay. Let me find it. I think it'll be this one. There you go. Anything I can do to reduce the chance of a short is good. Right. That's what we go to that tunnel there. I'll check the chat again in a second. Okay. There's that one. Let's have a little break. My knees are getting sore. Right, here we go. So, how's the chat going? My wife put me in a coffee a while ago. She's going cold, so I should drink that, shouldn't I? So what do you reckon about my solution about sticking a little box on the inside, that cavity? I think that'll work alright, eh? I think that's probably the tidiest solution. So I like to have a socket on the back and just plug into the charger. It's just like a nicer way of doing it. At least the stream's behaving fairly well. It's dropped 3,000 frames. It's probably got a bit worse recently, but it's not doing too badly, I suppose. So, I mean, as it is right now, that would work. That'd be done. But obviously, I want to put that charger set up in there too. Don't really want to drill holes, but I'm going to have to mount that box. But that's okay. I can't do it on the stream because my drill and stuff's in the garage. I have to go and drill it out there. I've got a mess out there. But I can do that afterwards. 3D printer back for it. I could do. I mean, that just there is my 3D printer. So yeah, I could make one. It takes a while or so. Yeah, I mean that box is a nice little tidy solution. It will work alright. So it's a fairly small box, and all I do is just put it so the back edge is facing outwards, and that way it recesses into the hole and actually sits in there alright. That fits quite nicely. So I'm tempted to use that because that's a nice simple solution. If I need to get into it, I'll just take that the plug-in out. I'll take that front assembly out, which is like one screw anyway, and then I can get to the screws in the front of this, take the cover off if I need to work on it, rather than unmounting it off the back. The hole that's got to go into the cavity is probably these holes that are in it as mounting holes, as you can probably barely see that top and bottom. They're right on the edge of the slot, the actual cutout. So it's not ideal for drilling. It could be a problem. Too much on the print, yeah, it takes a while. But if I've got, once I've designed it and got it going, it doesn't matter. It runs itself. It's not like I'm waiting to use the printer or anything like that. So it's not like a huge loss. Is my audio and video out of sync? Right. Is it? It is to me on screen, which is a bit weird. Normally it's not. It's a bit strange. I reckon I should print my own. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I mean, I don't have to finish that part of it right now. I mean, you've got the concept. You know, just doing that alone is got the thing working. You know, just as far as I've already got. You know. In good? All in sync? Okay, cool. Yeah, this seemed a bit strange on screen here. It just looks like it's out of sync slightly. Ah, yes, you're saying it is out of sync. Let's do that clap test again. Ready? It's not by much. Just normally the live feed I'll get on here, I'll show you. If I go to the top screen, I'll drag it in and I'll show you what I'm doing. That one. If I drag, oh, that's not going to work, is it? That's going to have to work. Okay. So I'll do that. So I've got my view here, right? And it just normally it's pretty much instant. It's live with what I'm saying and what my actions and stuff. Okay, weird. Maybe it's just my stream dropping out a little bit. Maybe it's a syncing thing with YouTube. I'm worrying about too much. Yeah, my 3D printer's not getting a lot of use. The last thing I did was some test prints, and after I did those dampers, put those dampers on that thing on the steppers to try and make it quieter. Reset the browser, it's in sync now. Maybe it's just a YouTube thing as well, but just on screen to me it's looking a bit delayed. Even on my computer it's looking slightly delayed, which is interesting. Normally it's instant. Normally it's directly in sync. So, I don't know. I did change some settings in the streaming software to try and make it better. Maybe that's something to do with it. Uses more processing power for compression. Maybe it's slowing it down slightly because of that. Okay, so I think I'll just finish these little bits off on here then. I'll cable tie those wires up, tidy those up, and I'll leave it at that for now. I won't do any further, at least not on the live stream. And we might go and have a look at the phone. I know Q's is watching for the phone. So we might go and do that, eh? Yeah, let's just change my stream name. Hold on a sec. And iPhone. Oh, let's just change this. Just changing the stream name. Yeah, it doesn't take long to make something as simple as like a box and stuff. It doesn't take long at all to design it. Okay, just change that stream name option stuff, and hopefully it will actually update properly. Hopefully. Okay, channel name, well, stream name and the description has now been updated. Great. So I'll cable tie those wires up to get that a little bit finished off, and I'll reassemble it for now, and I'll come back maybe and do that charger circuitry later on once I've got a box of stuff designed for it. You're fixing a video graphics card. Okay. It's not something I mess around with myself, graphics cards. At least not had to. Apart from cleaning the dust out of them. So let's put the battery back in here and cable tie this up. Better change camera views now so you can see what I'm doing. Desk. View, that one. Right, let's cable tie these up. Find some small cable ties. I've got some here somewhere. They're too big. They're too big. Here we go. I'd like to try and do tidy work, but I'm afraid I'm not generally that tidy. I try and do it, but I've seen guys do much tidier work than me. Good enough, would it? I think so. I think that'll be okay. Get that to stick in that double-sided tape there, hold it down, that'd be good. Cool. Let's drop the battery in. I suppose I should actually test it, shouldn't I, to prove it works. I'm so confident I'm going to put the screws back in. And this will be the time it doesn't work. That's how it works, isn't it? When you're sure it's going to be okay is the time it isn't. So, yeah, I'll add that charge port on later on once I've got a 3D printed thing made up to go in here to make that all nice. Definitely a way to do it. I mean, surely the other box is convenient, but it's like, it's not the best way. Right. Battery test. There we go. Yeah, battery test. On, well, I haven't got anything going right now, so you probably won't see anything, but there you go. See some activity this time when I flicked around. Yeah, no, you won't see much unless I've got an input signal going on. But so each battery checks out all about the same levels, so it all corresponds nicely. I'm happy with that. It's good. So let's call that video of the day. Just for the time being, leave this that way again. I'm not sure how long a lithium battery will sit actually without discharging by itself. Not sure what its self-discharge rate is like. I really should research that. Okay. Next thing, iPhone. Let's see what we can do with this. So we've got iPhone, we need screen, we need tools better than the ones that came with that screen. Oh, but I'm dropping them all everywhere. Yeah, should be all right. Oh yes, I need my holder for the screen. Right, preparation is always interesting. Anything else out there? That. What screwdrivers do I want? This thing's there. Nothing there. It's always about right. Let's get this other rubbish out of the way. You think this might end well? What are you trying to say about my skills about fixing an iPhone? Yeah, you might be right. We'll find out. Yeah, we'll see how we go with this. These you have to be careful with because there's a little the home button flex cable. It's really short, and it you have to be really careful getting it out. So I'm going to need some tweezers as well. Let's start recording some video. Right, this is a iPhone 5S which has a touch issue, and I need to try and fix that. I don't know whether it's the screen itself or whether it's the touch IC which is the problem. I'm going to try replacing the screen first, at least plugging it in. I'm not actually going to physically change it all over. I'm also going to plug this one into it and see if that changes any of the fault, and see if it goes away with a different screen. If it goes away, then I know, great, I'll just change the screen out. If it doesn't go away, I know it's a touch IC, and I can go from there. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's taking the fun off that scares you. Okay, let's try and get a closer view on this camera, eh? Let's zoom this in a bit. There you go. You can watch my mistakes in glorious detail. So make sure you can see everything I'm doing. Okay, should be able to see it. Is the heat gun jobby? No, no, it's not. Another thing I've got is this little tool here. Right, it makes it a bit easier. So you can get like little suction cups like they're providing here. I've got a few of these things. Little suction cup in here. You stick it on the screen, just use it to pull it up. But I've got this thing, which just pulls the phone apart itself, which is a bit easier. I think it's got a little bit less control, but yeah. Right, start recording in a second. Okay, let's give it a go. Right, which screwdriver I need to get this thing apart? I think it's this one. There's two different sizes of pentalobes I've got here, or pentalobe drivers at least. If I remember rightly, the screen slides upwards. Could be wrong. No, it doesn't. I must have been a different phone. That's fine. Goes on. Try to get them the same alignment. And hopefully it will lift it up. Here we go. Not normally that easy. Now inside here there's a little catch for the benefit of the people watching live at home. There you go. There's the inside, and they've even set a flex cable in there. Right there. Put it behind my finger. That's what you watch out for. So I've got to unflick that catch and release that cable before I can get the screen off. And that should come off really easy. Okay. Now to pop that, oh, I need a little lever thing. Oh, I'll use this for now. Come on. Okay, that's the home button disconnected. Now I can open the thing right up, if I can get this back off the screen. Nice and gentle, not to rip the cables. Don't want to do that. Now I'm going to disconnect the battery just for the sake of safety. This screwdriver's not very good. I think it's had its days. Okay, battery off. I think the screwdriver's, yeah, that's knackered. Throw it away. Time for a new one. Whenever you buy a screen, you always get screwdrivers and stuff with it, so there's no shortage of new ones. So let's disconnect all that stuff up here. That fits a lot better. It's even slightly magnetised, that's simple. I'll stick to my fingers too, eh? That's interesting. I didn't think it was that attractive. Come on, let's come. That one's not magnetic. Right, I think I need a smaller lever. That one's ridiculously big. Come on. There we go, that one there. So that's the screen assembly off. So, do I just replace the screen I'm done with it, or do I just do testing? What do you reckon? Back to the chat, let's have a look. Yeah, that whole iPhone thing, the whole Mac, Apple thing with the water indicator dots. When they take it out the back, do they go in there and just drip a bit of water onto each one to make it look like it's water damaged? Do they? they press their finger on it so the moisture in the skin, you know, makes it like it's water damaged? Did I breathe on it? Yeah, I'm a whole suspicious about the whole thing, eh? You know, I have an issue with like my iPhone. I did a video recently. I haven't published it yet, but I replaced the battery on my iPhone, my trusty one just here. All right, and that's an iPhone 6S. Now that that particular phone's known as having a battery fault. The batteries are known to be defective. Okay, and there was a recall on, and Apple were doing a free battery replacement. That's great. Problem is, there's no Apple store in my country, so I couldn't actually get it replaced. And there's only one place which was about 2 hours drive away from me, which was like one of their representative stores, I suppose, like, so, you know, a repair outlet that they referred me to. I said, well, I'm not going to drive 4 hours to go and get a battery replaced. That's just ridiculous. Send me the battery, I'll do it myself. And it just never eventuated to anything. They were considering it, because I just sent them a link to my YouTube channel and said, look, you can see what I do. I can fix this easy. And yeah, that ended up being nothing. So I bought myself a cheap battery from China. It arrived a couple of days ago, and I put it in the battery, put the battery in the phone the other day, and it's working better than the original one did. So go figure. But that's what, 2 years old now, the phone, something like that. 2.5 years old, that phone, nearly 3, approaching 3 years. So considering it's a defective battery, actually worked quite well, but it's getting ridiculous recently. I was only charging it 3 times a day, which is just driving me nuts. So now it's back down to once a day, which is, you know, the way it should be. But yeah, well, I didn't have a great experience with Apple's support. Anyway, so now I'm sort of tossing up between just plugging it in or what. Can I get this to attach? Is it not going to like having the camera plugged in at the same time? I don't like to have things partially assembled. I know I've seen it done a lot on other channels where they just plug in the bits they want to use on the phone, you know, and you know, just try it out. But I'm nervous about doing that sort of stuff. Don't like to not plug everything in. Yeah, just doesn't feel right not plug everything in. So what do we have here? So we have the connectors for those two there, I believe. Those two there. So that one there must be the camera connector. Yeah, that's a camera flex there. So I can probably safely leave it off, I suppose. I don't want to dismount the home button unless I need to, so I just want to plug the screen in basically and try it. Let's give it a go, shall we? Obviously one of these is the LCD, the other one's digitizer. If I can get the thing to go in there. I think that's it, is it? Doesn't feel like it's in very well. No, it's just flopping around. Also, I need to get that alignment just right. Yeah, that's this one. think that one's in. Okay. So can I plug this home button in at the same time? Don't like to not have that plugged in. Oh yeah, probably can. I think that'll just work. Just very mindful about how fragile all this is. Okay, it's plugged in. Plug the battery in. Let's give it a go. Well, we have a screen lighting up. So I've plugged everything in. I've just turned the thing on. I've got the home button plugged in from this screen here, and I've only got the screen digitizer connected from this new screen. Just to test the touch out. Still counterfeiting the iPhone. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen all that from Lewis about bloody screens and iPad rehab, and what I've had to say about it as well. Original Apple parts? Yeah, no, they're not original Apple parts. Okay. Well, that's looking promising. It looks like it's a screen. No issues with touch there. Get rid of that. So, yeah, looks like it's a screen. Excellent. That's the easy. That's the easy repair. Awesome. Thank fuck for that. Okay, cool. So I just need to swap the screens over. Excellent. Yeah, I wasn't looking forward to having to do a bloody touch IC. I really didn't want to do that, but you have to start somewhere, you know. Yeah, I should have taken the battery off too, shouldn't I? Pop that back out. It's good practice to pop the battery off. Should have done it first. Anyway, so now I'll transfer everything from here onto this one. And you notice this one doesn't have the metal screen on the back here, the metal shielding, which might do me a favour because I'll take it out anyway with this camera. So let's unscrew all this and figure out what the hell I'm doing as I'm going along. Who else is holding that? Is that hooked in? Doesn't feel like it wants to come off yet. Let's take all this off before I damage it by leaning on it or something. quite straight. Get there. Very fiddly stuff. It's easy to do, it's just fiddly. Take a certain amount of care. I've got to put that on after I put the shield on, which has this tape which I need to transfer off. What's holding that down? Is it just these pegs? I'm missing something, am I? Why is it I wanted to come out? Am I missing something? Is there another screw somewhere? I think so. I think that's it. There we go. There's the camera out. There's that bit. All very fiddly. Don't force anything, you just gently work at it. I don't have a replacement camera, replacement flex. I mean, I could get them, I'm sure, but I don't have them here. So best not to break anything. To get this bit which is stuck down, you get that off. There we go. There we go, there's a camera part there. I'm going to take the shield here off. So far so good. I'll stop for a second. All these are getting soggy again. Getting video lag again. Oh, I'm dropping frames. Let me just drop the frame rate slightly. Where we are with the chat, so look. Quite sure what I'm up to now. If you believed I could do it, well done. Really? I don't remember. Anyway, let's finish this bit off. My knees have a chance to rest. Hopefully the video behaves slightly better now. I've dropped the frame rate very slightly, so the quality might be slightly less. But, well, not the frame rate, the bit rate. Because my interconnection gets worse and worse as the day goes on, so it's possible to play up after a period of time. Get in there. Tighten those up before I should have done. It's not quite aligned on the other side. One time I think I'll get away with it. It's like a camera recording again, shouldn't I? Okay, second screen attached, or the shielding attached to the screen, should I say. Now I've got to stick all this back down again. It's a little bit fiddly. Just got to figure out how it all goes. There's the light sensor. It's got to sit in there. Okay, that's the light sensor in. That's all good there. Let's line all that up and push it down. I still hope so. Put that back in there. Which is the microphone. Get it set in the right place, it'd be good. Microphone. Yeah, it is a microphone now. I think that's in. Unfortunately, I've lost the adhesive on that other piece there, so it's not going to sit quite right, but that's what it is. Wiggle everything around, make sure it seats in. And that's supposed to hook under there, is it? Yep. Okay, let's get a screw in before it falls apart. Does it look right? That appears to be in. I think the camera's slightly offset. Right. I think we're good. It's not like I do many of these phones. It's, you know, I don't really do a lot of this kind of work, so it's a case of figuring it out as I go every time. And I think I figured out why the camera was all set. Now I've got it together. I missed a piece. There's a piece in here. That has to come out. Just there. Let's take it apart again. It's always after you got the last screw back in, isn't it? Of course it is. That's fine. I thought I was missing something. Yeah. Put this back in here. And then this one over here goes in there. Now I'll try again. Make sure that microphone's popped in. Can't quite see. Come on, get in there. Right, I think that's in there. I'll try this again, shall we? Okay, I think we're good. I think that's good. But, ooh, sore knees. We're getting it. It's all good. Yes, well. It's always just I pass left over. Yeah, you can use them in the next phone. Yeah. Anyway, it's only good repair if you don't screw it up halfway through. It's always helpful. So, right, I think that's going to be okay. I don't think I've missed anything else. The last screen repair I did as well, I did the same kind of thing on that. Missed those little plastic bits, I had to put them back in again, which is what occurred to me. Hold on, I'm missing something. Right, well, let's drop it back into the phone and we'll see if it actually works after all that. Get the other video recording. Alright, let's reassemble this thing. Not going to cooperate too well. That's it, all in. It worries me a little bit that this looks like it's been put apart before, because the ribbon cable's actually got a crease in it, like someone's had this thing open and it's been put back together wrong. That ribbon there for the camera's got a big crease in there, so it's a bit concerning. But at least it's only the camera, so if it is a problem it can always be replaced later on. Mind you, it does, was that camera does? That does the camera, earpiece, microphone, light sensor. So if there is a problem with this flex, then yeah, that'll be why. Okay, let's just, I'm going to put it back together and test it. I'm going to do it that way. If this does completely resolve it, in a way I'm slightly disappointed that I didn't get to play around with doing a touch IC. I'm sure the day will come, but the you know, it would have been a good learning opportunity. I'm always for learning and trying to learn new skills and try new things in that way. You know, that's how you grow as a person, is to try new things. And you know, obviously you grow in competency by doing stuff which is different too. If I can get the screw in, that'd be awesome. Come on, why not? Oh, come on. It's going to be inconvenient, isn't it? You lost it. It's flicking off. Stuck to my finger. How's that? Come on. Come on. Get in there. There we go. And then the last one, which I don't think is magnetic. No, it's not. Battery. Battery cover. Okay, now the tricky bit. Home flex. I'm looking at this camera flex down here, which was crumpled before by somebody else, but it would seem. So looks like I might need to try and get that to straighten out and go back to where it's supposed to go, so it doesn't crease anymore. Doesn't really want to. I think it might have to go back to the same place. Alright, let's get this plugged in. So this is where it gets tricky. Prefer not to use metallic if I can. Is that in? Don't think it is. No. Feel a little bugger this is. Okay, I think that's in there now. Certainly didn't make that one easy. Come on, get in there. It's not hard enough trying to put the bloody home button connection on. Trying to get the little piece after that on is even worse. I think that's on now. Right, power it on. See what happens. We have a screen or something. Let's turn it off. All great fun. Question is, does touch still work? Does the home button still work? Does the camera work? All these things that could go wrong. Well, touch worked. Is that time? Yeah, it's looking promising. Camera. Where's he got the camera on here? Right there. Well, we have that camera. Let's change the other one. Ooh. No camera. No front camera. So that flex probably is a problem then. Got rear camera, but no front camera. Well, that's a pain. Yeah, I was worried about that thing. I wonder if the speaker works. Right. Voice memos, where the hell's that on here? Don't know. Go back. I don't know, I never use voice memos, I just know it exists. Where is it? Anyone? It's there somewhere. That's all working right, at least. Memos. No. Voice. No. I don't know where the hell it is. I've seen other people do it. Alright, we'll figure that out. But yeah, that camera's not working, so it's likely that flex. Yeah, okay, back to the chat. Where are we? Why are you talking technical stuff? This one. So we got Tetronic software. I've got no experience with that, so I can't help you there. Throw away, get a real phone. Yeah. I might just have to tell him he can't use the front camera anymore. But yeah, that flex, because it's all kinked up, but someone else has been in there, it's all kinked. And it's also not been laid back down properly, and I was worried that it's going to be bad. So it is. It's fixable. I have to just get another one for him, but the original fault was the fact that the touch wasn't working, and that seems to be okay now. So yeah, I'll have to see if I can get another flex cable for him and replace all that assembly. Actually, I'll show you a look now, shouldn't I? Let's go and have a look. AliExpress. Let's see. There you go, change views. Something more interesting to look at, maybe. At least there's some activity. Okay, iPhone 5S Flex. Let's see what comes up. This one mentions the right thing. Always fun trying to find parts. You never quite know what you're going to get either. I usually get more than one, because sometimes there's been times I've replaced a part and found the part was no good. The replacement part was also no good. So I tend to buy two of everything. So I've got a stock of I've got iPhone 4 parts. I've got home buttons and bloody volume buttons, and I don't think I've ever seen myself ever using an iPhone 4 part ever again. But I think I've got maybe another screen somewhere actually. Come on, this is going slow. Trying to find other parts. Lots of charging port connectors. Fortunately, not the ones I'm looking for. I'll have to refine my search. See if that other one comes up right. It's finally loaded. Is that the right flex? I don't know. It's showing a few different pictures. Let's have a look. 5S Flex. Does that look right? Not sure. I think it is. Okay, this is a whopping $4.49 New Zealand for the flex cable. So, if I buy two, bastards, if I get two, I put $4 shipping on. Okay. Right. I'll keep looking. I'll see if I can find another trader that doesn't do that. So, flex front camera. Don't know how exciting this is for you watching me trying to find stuff. But anyway. It's got all the bezel parts as well, this one. It's looking a bit better. Always nice to spare bezel parts in case I leave them in the old case or something. I never do that. Never leave the wrong parts in there. Okay. 5G, no, I want 5S. 5C. 5S. So it's a front facing part with the little plastic inserts as well. Okay, that's $6. Yeah. Two of them are shipping, but it's only $2.29. If we get three of them, same price. So yeah, okay, there we go. Let's just get three of them. I've got a couple for stock then. Buy them, and I'll get these for him. I mean, if he doesn't use them, I'll use them for something one day, I'm sure. Yeah, $2 postage. I can't really complain, can I? Really? $22 all up. Yeah, it's fine. Done. Purchased. Right, so that was quite a long live stream. What was that, 3 hours? 3.25 hours. Only $4 can't be Apple legit. No, they'll charge you $400 for it, won't they? For the same part. Probably from the same supplier. Oh, Q, you missed it, did you? Yeah, the touch is working. It was a screen, but there's no front camera. The Flex had a kink in it. I noticed it had a kink when I was pulling it apart and working on it. So it had been kinked over, you know, like a zigzag cut, dig into the bloody Flex for the front camera assembly. And I was thinking, oh, that's not good. And yeah, there's no front camera. So obviously there's an issue with that. I don't know if it's got sound. I don't know if the sound works. You know, microphone or the speaker. I don't know if they work yet. So yeah, I'll have to try and test that. I'll do it afterwards. But I've just purchased some Flex cables, so I'll replace that when I turn up anyway. I'll just hold them to the phone. He hasn't asked for the phone yet, so I might have to say, yep, touch is working, but it's got this other problem. So yeah, but yeah, it's fixed. So that's not bad, is it? So we've done the Fluke 540B and iPhone. Not too bad a day. Fairly productive, I think. Because it's only 11 o'clock in the morning. It's not too bad at all. Yeah, thanks for dropping in, Chris. I'm guessing it's getting quite late there now. It must be, what, 11 o'clock by now? PM? So I can imagine you want to get to bed. Probably Simon too, if he's still there. I don't know if Simon's still there. I haven't seen him say anything for a while. Don't know. So yeah, okay. So thanks everyone for watching. I think I might call that. Anyone wants to have a chat about anything? I'm not quite ready to wrap it up yet. If anyone wants to have a bit of a discussion about anything, questions or comments, suggestions, whatever. No, I fixed a couple of things. Might as well move on to something else. I think I stopped my camera. Yeah, I did. Okay, Ian, you too. No problem. Yeah, the touch seems okay now. It's all over the screen, seems to be working. It didn't have any intermittent issues like it was doing before, so it's definitely got different behaviour. It looks normal now, the touch. So thanks Ian and Chris for dropping in. We'll catch you next time. I might do another live stream next week. We'll see how we go. Depends if I've got something to do. But then I should have the parts for the finish that power supply I did last time. I'm waiting for parts for that. So hopefully I have something. It may not be the right part, but it could be something I'm going to try, a substitute part. So hopefully you can drop in there and catch that out. So I should try and do it next week. I'll see how we go. All goes well, I'll do another stream next week, same time. Any suggestions for accurate 5 plus or minus 15 Rs for op amps? I'm not a design technician, so I just have a good knack at fixing things and diagnosing and figuring out what's going on. Design wise, I'm not great at that. Yeah, thanks Chris, catch you later mate. So you can get like dedicated ICs or DC-DC converters that do that kind of job. You can actually buy them, just a unit, you just plug it in, or solder it into the board and it's done. I've seen those. That might be a way to go if you want something simple. Of course you can always use like a centre tap transformer and build a couple of linear regulators to run it if you want a nice smooth supply. Plenty of capacitance on there, capacitance filtering on there. But yes, I haven't really done much in the way of power supplies, op amps and stuff like that. It's not really what I do. I diagnose stuff and fix it, not really design. Obviously, having an understanding how things work helps as far as fixing stuff, and is equally applicable to design, I suppose. But it's I'm not a great designer. I know my strengths, and that's not one of them. Anything else, anyone? Chat's pretty quiet, so yeah, next week I intend to try and finish that Agilent power supply, that repair, that reset circuit. I've ordered some supervisor ICs. The EV blog forum is definitely a good place to go because lots of guys out there which know a lot more than I do about electronics, so definitely go and have an ask on there. There's bound to be something that'll help you. Hi Frank, how's it going? You called in at the time I'm wrapping up a little bit. I've been streaming for about 3 hours now, so I'm afraid you missed those. You have to go back and rewind. On the best? No, I don't think so. I'm just a guy which tinkers with electronics. There's guys out there which know a lot more than me. I'm self-taught. I've done no formal education as far as electronics. I haven't done any kind of training. It's just what I've learnt over the years. Tinkering around with things and trying to figure out how things work. That's the way I work. Actually, I had a funny comment yesterday in one of my old videos. It's what was it? It was the comparison I did on some capacitance testers. So the DER 5000 and a couple of other testers and the Bob Parker ESR meter and a few other things like that. Okay, catch you, mate. And a comment I got some criticising why I'd done it. So okay, some of the comments were valid. It's one of my older videos. It wasn't the best. I could have edited it and that sort of stuff, and that was fine. And then towards the end, he goes, "It all seems very amateurish." I was like, "Seriously, amateurish?" Okay, so my reply to that was quite simple, really. This isn't television. I am an amateur. Yes, the video is going to be amateurish. This is amateur TV in a way. I'm just recording a video and publishing it on the internet. I'm not a professional videographer. I had to laugh at that, mate. It's like, wow, someone just like the expectation from what will actually be there was quite intense. It's like, wow, okay, that's funny. I actually found it funny. So yeah, But I get all kinds of weird comments like that from time to time. But people just don't actually think about the context. You know, it's YouTube. It's not television. It's people sitting at home doing their hobbies or trying to help people and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I get funny comments like that sometimes. It's funny. Have a laugh. Okay, so anything else, guys? Because I've got some things I need to get done too. I need to go out to the garage and put some insulation and line some walls with jib, plasterboard, if you want to call it, or well, jib rock. That's what you call it in US or something, isn't it? It's like gypsum board. I need to go and get that done. My wife wanted me to do it yesterday, but I put it off because the insulation's fiberglass and it's a bit nasty. Don't like dealing with it. End up being scratchy afterwards. So another little thing, I might bother recording that. It's going to bore the hell out of everyone watching me put insulation in the wall and install plasterboard. No one's going to be interested in that. I'm sure there's other videos of that. Sheetrock, yeah, that's the one. Sheetrock. I knew I'd seen something like that. I can't remember what it's called. Have fun with that. Yeah, it's. I was supposed to do that yesterday. I just put it off. It's like I don't need it covered in fiberglass. It's not fun. It's only a garage, but if I'm going to put plasterboard up on the walls, then I'm going to put insulation behind it. You know, it's just simple as that. If you're going to put that up, I'll spend the extra 2 minutes to put the insulation on the wall. It's a bit easier to do it before we put the bloody plasterboard up than it is after. Alright. Okay guys, I'm going to wrap this up. It's been an interesting, and productive morning. I got a bit done. It's been great. And I hope you all enjoyed it. And so I'll try and do another live stream next week about the same time. If all goes well, I'll do one. As long as I've got the parts. I want to get this power supply finished off. Jack of all trades, yeah, well, let's say about Jack of all trades, don't you? Was it Jack of all trades, master of none? Isn't it? It's like, I know enough to get things done in lots of things. Am I good at any of them? Yeah, I don't know. I'm dangerous enough, I think. Alright, I'll catch you all later, eh? Thanks for all tuning in and watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you all next time. And like and share, definitely, yeah. Everyone share it. Sharing is great because it helps me produce the videos. It kind of high in the search rankings and stuff like that, and helps me more traffic in, which helps the channel. So please do share videos if you get the chance. Okay, thanks a lot, everyone. Catch you later.